So today we are going to revisit the idea of bullying in the workplace and its effect that it can have on people. So, did you know that approximately 30% of adults say they have been bullied in the workplace, and 66% of the bullies are actually the supervisor? And bullies report things like unfair expectations, public humiliation, being compared to your coworkers, um, public punishment, unfair, unrealistic deadlines, all kinds of things. And it causes stress and anxiety and eating problems and sleeping problems. And it can really affect your morale and your motivation to get your job done. And I know for me personally, I've been pretty open lately about talking about my experiences with bullying in the workplace. And there's been several incidents, but the very first one, the one that set it all in motion, was many, many years ago. And I was brand new to the job, and my boss at the time was a former military officer, which is fine. They're not all bad people. But he hated women being in this particular job. And there was very few of us. Most of them are men. Most of us, myself included, are prior military, which should have been fine. But he had me and one other woman. And he would constantly compare me to her and be like, you should be more like so and so. She can memorize things, she has everything at the drop of a hat. I was like, well, I'm brand new and she's been here for a long time, right? And so he would say this all the time. And if I said something, in a team meeting, he would immediately put it down. And then one day, she was on vacation and we were going to have an awards ceremony that day. And this woman was to receive an award. And my boss decided that I should be the one to walk up in front of this crowded conference room, accept her award for her, so that I knew what it was like to win an award. And it was so humiliating. I hated it. The second I was sitting in the audience, we were all facing the front. They were calling people up one by one, and they called her name. And he immediately turns around and looks at me. And I was like, oh. So I got up and I walked up there. I took the award after they gave a whole spiel about who she was, because they were clearly thinking that I was her. And then I turned around and there was a photographer there. And I was like, I'm not her, But they still took my picture holding the award, standing next to the person. And I was like, this is absolutely horrifying. And that was just one of the worst days. It was so sad because it was like very near the beginning of my career, right? And it just, things popped up over the years, different ones. But that one I really remember because I was so new and I never said anything. And I think that's where a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of people who are bullied at work won't say anything because they try to protect the peace. We don't want to rock the boat or to make things uncomfortable for other people around. And I wish I would have said something back then. I feel like it would have made me a stronger person because I ended up encountering several more instances over the years that I'll end up sharing later on, I'm sure. And I think once you allow the first thing to pass, it's so much easier for you just to accept it from people rather than stand up for yourself. So I wanted to share that. It's super important. If you feel like you're being bullied in the workplace, it's really, really important to say something. If you're going to encounter the person, go up and confront them. Don't ask them to stop. You have to tell them. If you ask somebody, you are giving them the power in the conversation, and you don't want that. So you need to tell them firmly that they have to stop what they're doing, stop what they're saying, do it privately, ask them to go into an office if you can, or somewhere where you're not doing this in a public setting, because that's really what we're trying not to perpetuate. And just tell them, you cannot talk to me this way anymore. It's unacceptable. If you keep doing it, I'm going to report you. And then you have to follow through. If they keep doing it, you have to report them. And I totally get that people don't want to do that because I feel like they're going to be looked at by their coworkers as some horrible person, or they're going to be treated poorly by the next supervisor up, but you have to do it. It's so very important, because if we don't start reporting people, confronting people, and stopping this behavior, it's going to keep happening. That's it. There's no way to stop bullies if you don't actually confront them. So if you're in this situation, just know you are not alone. Whatever you're going through, somebody else out in the world is going through the exact same thing. So be strong, confront the person, tell them not to do anything. If you have to, go report them. If that person doesn't do anything, go to the next step. If it's another supervisor or your human resources department, whatever that step is, keep going. Sooner or later, it'll have to stop. And if it doesn't, sometimes you just have to remove yourself from the situation and move to a different team or a different office if you can. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that. Usually I would hope that the company would move the perpetrator, the bully themselves, but I've seen firsthand that doesn't always happen. A lot of companies will sweep it under the rug or say, you're misinterpreting, you're reading more into it than you should, but that's generally not the case. So be strong, stand up for yourself, and just keep going and keep knowing that you are worth everything that you're doing. Thank you.